So another point that I like to share across is with self-discipline or with self-will, you are usually open to suggestions. There will come a time when, in fact, at all times, because this is something you're trying to fight off. This is something your conscious mind is trying to ward off. You're trying to depend solely on your conscious mind to say, hey, I'm going to do this by myself. I want to do this by myself. And you will always be open to suggestion because your conscious mind is trying to let you know, okay, this is what I'm trying to do. I no longer want to watch porn. I no longer want to use sexual content. So every point in time, your conscious mind is always bringing that picture to you that say, hey, I no longer want to use sexual content. But you are thinking about sexual content. Even though you don't want to use sexual content, but you are thinking about sexual content. And thinking about it is a leeway to falling into the trap. Thinking about it is a leeway to losing control. So when the suggestions keep coming in, you find that it's only a matter of time before you fall back. It's only a matter of time before you get back into the loop, into the cycle. So we don't want that. We want a situation where even though the suggestion comes in, you know that there is a firewall already dealing with it, which is the Holy Spirit. There's a firewall already put in place that is specifically designed to say, nah, I'm not thinking about that. I'm focusing somewhere else. I'm focusing on increasing my mental capabilities. I'm focusing on my development emotionally, mentally. I'm focusing on my development spiritually, So this just phases the whole urge away. Immediately comes in, it phases it away. I'm talking about this from experience, and I hope this can help you too. I'm speaking about this from experience because I know what I have, the struggles that I've had to go through before I found myself where I am right now, free from having to worry about the urge coming and me falling for it. I know deep inside of me that that time is past, that time is gone, so I'm not doing that anymore. So another thing I'd like to talk about is the system, the strategy of self-will may fail because it is not designed for growth. If you continually say, whenever the urge comes, I'm going to repel it, yeah, fine. But how long will you keep doing that? I read David Brooks' book, The Road to Character, and he said somewhere that self-will or self-control is a muscle that tires out very easily. So if self-will or self-control is a muscle that tires out very easily, therefore, if we decide to use self-will or self-control, it is bound to fail us at one point or the other. So why depend on it instead of depending on something that can sustain us in the long run? Remember, this is not a sprint race. This is a marathon. Breaking free and staying free is a marathon. Okay? Breaking free and staying free is a marathon race. So get it into your mind that you are in it for the long run. And that is what it is. So with this strategy of self-will, you can rest assured that it's not a system designed for growth. It's not a system designed to keep you building up yourself, keep you building up that energy. So, but with the Holy Spirit, you are constantly growing with the Holy Spirit, learning of Him. You are no longer the same person you are. Once you start off with the Holy Spirit, you are no longer the same person you are because you are growing, because you are learning. You are finding the strength to equip yourself mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And that is what you need to keep the fire burning. With the self-will system, you can't inspire a new habit. Each time the urge comes, I'm going to fight it off. Yeah, that's cool, but you can't keep doing that forever. But with the Holy Spirit, you can just say, hey, this is no longer my fight. I'm giving it to the Holy Spirit to help me on fight. And it works wonders, absolutely. You're just going to see how you're going to stay free you're going to be amazed at how life-changing that simple action is. And with the self-will, there's always the anxious feeling that the next temptation might break you. With the self-will, there's always the chance that the next time the urge comes, you might not be mentally capable at that point in time. You might not be feeling up to it. You might not be solid mentally at that point when the urge comes in next. And then you might break. So there's always the fear of that. There's always the anxiety of that. But with the Holy Spirit, you know that, hey, this is not, I keep saying it, this is no longer your fight. This is the fight that belongs to the Holy Spirit. This is a fight that belongs to the Holy Spirit, no longer yours. So all you need to do is just relax and say, just rest in the assurance that I am no longer a porn addict. I am no longer prone to masturbating. I am no longer prone to going back to the screen. I am now a new creature. And everything that has to do with that life is now in the past. And I've taken my hands off it. And the Holy Spirit is helping me. I no longer need to worry or bother or care or be afraid that the urge will come and I'll fall. No. So with the self-will, another thing with the self-will is the fight and your victory is dependent on not being caught off guard. Another thing with the self-will is the fight and your victory at every point in time is dependent on not being caught off guard. And the urge usually comes when something happens that you don't feel happy about. You just want to feel good at that point in time. And this is the point when you're feeling really low. This is when the urge really comes in. And you find yourself breaking the rule. Maybe you've gone 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And then that urge comes in. And man, it meets you at a very low point and you just can't help but go back. You just can't help but succumb. Once that happens, you can go like a month and keep using content, because staying away from it and then eventually falling back into it, you find that practice abstinence. So that's a cycle and it keeps happening like that, and it's a loophole and it's not where you want to be, really. It's not. So but with the Holy Spirit, strength is always made available. Strength is always available for you to draw from. So the Holy Spirit is always on guard. It's always mounting guard, so much that even though you feel depressed at any point in time, even with the Holy Spirit, there's no way you can feel depressed in the first place. With the Holy Spirit, depression is not even allowed. With the Holy Spirit, you rest assured that every challenge or battle you face, either with work or with neighbors or with colleagues or wherever you find yourself, you have the strength to deal with it in a different way, such that you are always in control. And this is what it is all about, always being in control. By letting the Holy Spirit be in control, you are like the general. You are like the person, the overseer of all the affairs. You are saying, hey, Holy Spirit, I'm delegating this part of my life to you and help me. That way you are always in control. Always being in control, that is how we win this battle. So even at times when you don't find yourself in control, even at times when work is not going great, even at the times when you feel dejected as a result of one thing or the other, the Holy Spirit will help you, will be the shield. He'll be the buckler that really gives you the energy you need to keep on keeping on. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious that from what I've listed out, from what I've talked about, it's pretty obvious that the Holy Spirit is what we need, is who we need to help us fight this addiction. So anything other than the Holy Spirit is a battle that is doomed to be lost. So I hope you understand what I have just talked about, and I hope it helps you make a decision today. Make a decision to decide and say, okay, I'm going to do this with the Holy Spirit, not by myself. And trust me, it is going to be the best decision that you ever made. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.